Hey guys, welcome back to some more Majora's Mask, and welcome to our fourth dungeon, the Stone Tower Temple.
I like this. I know this is probably a lot of people's least favorite temple, but I actually kind of like this one because of how creative it is.
Yep, I can agree. I think out of the 4 different dungeons of the game, it's probably my favorite one, because I like a lot of its core design. You really don't see a dungeon like this in other Zelda games by today's standards, because it's essentially 2 dungeons in one. And we'll get to that here in a little bit. You'll kind of maybe see it now with certain things being upside down. A little different.
Well,
And no, you can't be like Spider-Man and crawl up the walls to get stuff. Sorry.
Oh, watch me. I'll clip out of bounds and I'll get that upside down chest. Watch me. Yep, no, I won't. That's something I don't know how to do.
Lester be like, but I was playing Spider-Man, man.
Yeah, my favorite game, Spider-Man, man. Featuring man as Spider.
Man Spider.
No, you know somebody probably thought that as a kid. It's like, I wonder if I could just crawl up these walls like Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Get that stuff.
I mean, one thing is with how the dungeon's set up, you don't know about like how the heck you get the stuff on the ceiling. I know some people thought maybe the item for the dungeon could have been something that makes you stick to the ceilings, which is an idea even the Zelda team thought of, because later on, when they made Twilight Princess, the iron boots in a dungeon lets you walk on ceilings and walls. So even they thought of that at one point.
Yeah. Twilight Princess had a lot of fun ideas in it, too.
Yeah, and a lot of one and dones, unfortunately, because that, man, would have been so cool if they expanded on it, but it's in one dungeon and like one little cave, and that's it.
Yeah. But no, this dungeon's kind of weird because you don't just play as Deku like you do in Woodfall. You just play as Goron like you do in Snowhead?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Snowhead.
Not Snow Point.
No.
I know that's what you were thinking.
Yeah.
No, I think you were thinking Snow Peak from TP,
Yeah.
because I do that a lot.
It was either one of those two, or it's not like Great Bay where you play as Zora. You play as like every single one of them kind of almost equally in some way, fresh form.
Yep. I mean, this is a good example right here, because we need to use the Goron form to walk around the lava, and that previous room we were in, that was really our last big use of LG Emptiness. You were supposed to use it multiple times to put on the Switch's statues, but luckily, you use 2 little cardboard boxes. That skips 2 of the LG forms. So for 3DS, can you imagine they changed the room and made it worse? Ah, who would have guessed?
Oh, jeez.
Got rid of the boxes. They gave you 1 pushable block, and that was it. So you can skip 1 LG song, not 2. Why'd they do this?
Man, those Armos are like, hey buddy, can we see your map? Ow.
This is fine.
I mean, 'tis but a little scratch when they give me all these hearts.
Tis but a scratch. You got a key. I need to play the 3DS version of this game eventually. Like, I need to play through Ocarina of Time 3D. Like, dude, I really wish I had more time to play games anymore.
Yeah, fair.
To stop playing games that I played 50 bazillion times over and over again. You stop doing that too.
Exactly, but, I mean, hey. Who's really looking forward to those new releases this year when I can just play Sonic 2 for the 6th time this year? Be great. Thanks for lending me a hand.
Heh. See what you did there. Are you trying to trick that? No, you're just bomb throwing. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of timed that wrong. What I was trying to do, actually, is if you throw a bomb over next to that crystal switch and it explodes the same moment you open the chest here, you get 2 cutscenes in one. So I was trying to save a tiny bit of little time here. Be a runner, I ain't. Except I'm gonna still speedrun a little bit because I don't want to come back into this room. We're gonna just jump up here. I don't care. Come back here just for 1 stinking straight fairy. We're getting it now.
So you can jump up there with Zora Link, I guess?
With a gainer, yeah. So Either that, or you can just get a ground jump from a bomb. So glitch or glitch? Choose your glitch.
How did you jump up? I don't understand how you jumped up there.
Yeah, that one was a ground jump. So if you roll into a bomb with your shield out while mashing A, Link tries to grab it, but the shield's up, so he doesn't. And then it just, for some reason, stores a jump. So you can use that just to jump straight up. Essentially, ground jump is basically like a jump button at that point. Like, what if jump button?
What if they actually had a button for jumping? Like, oh, Breath of the Wild did?
I mean, essentially, or even like Roxfetter from other games.
Yeah.
Link can jump in this game, they just didn't program a button for it.
Yeah. Yeah, because the auto jump when you run off a ledge. But now with more flips.
Man, the look on my face whenever I found out in Breath of the Wild would be like, Link can jump in 3D?
Without an item, mind you, because again, beforehand, it was Roxfetter. That's it. The only way you were able to do it with just a button press.
Dawn's second day. You better hurry up, Lester. You said this last cycle.
Oh no, whatever shall I do? I still have another, like, 48 hours.
And he's like almost halfway through the temple already, so.
Yeah, I mean, really, this temple is pretty condensed, but that's because of how you have to traverse through it.
You already did majority of the work on the last episode anyway, so.
Yeah, the climb up is notoriously known to take a while, but when you're in the dungeon itself, it could be like half the time, depending on how bad the climb was. Also, pro tip for this room, just keep the stone mask on at all times if you have it, because we don't just have the black bows here, but we also have those powdered keg not Goron creatures in this room too. And you don't know where they are until you get close to a spawn point and they just come out the floor. Leave this mask on, the enemies ignore you. Mind me, I'm just charging up my mirrors with light, because that makes sense.
I'm a firing my laser. My light laser.
I will say, that's a very unique puzzle, and I kind of want to see something like that done more often in this game. It's really not done much at all. It's only like, what, 2 or 3 rooms at most that you see that kind of puzzle really introduced.
Oh, this room. Yes,
Yeah,
this room.
this room is pretty well known.
Yeah, mainly just because of the timing on this puzzle is very strict. You don't need to do this whole section here. It's just to get a stray fairy. Which I guess going through this, we can mention at this point, you may notice a trend with all these stray fairies. Also some very good luck. That was literally frame perfect. Holy crap. Out the die. You may notice a trend with these stray fairies where they're all in chests, and that's because this is the only dungeon where every single stray fairy you're going to find in a standard brown chest like this. They're not going to be in items or enemies this time around. So, you don't even need the Great Fairy Mask in this dungeon to see where a stray fairy is. Just look for a chest you may not have opened.
I mean, it's still good to have on though, just in case.
Yeah, that's true, because if you don't know if there's a chest in the room yet that has a stray fairy, the mask will tell you.
Yeah, it could be like, oh, look at my hair's all doing that thingy, majig. Oh, I didn't get that chest.
Thingy more jig?
My favorite item, I know, right?
Really?
You know how the Great Fairy Method, I don't know how to describe it. I'm one with words. Uh-oh. Garo Master.
I heard of Garros, now have you heard of Garo Masters? It's a master of a Garo. Basically a Garo with 2 swords, that's not that different, and also fire.
Is that it?
But they're not really hard to fight, as you kind of seen, because as long as you're defending yourself a lot or dodge or attacks, they go down pretty quick with jump attacks. Oh no, please don't drop that here. I only have, oh wait, actually like, what, 17 hearts, double defense? Alright, you're fine.
That is the law of us, Garo.
Man, I would hate to be part of that group. I'm just gonna say it straight out.
Yeah.
I have dishonored myself. I must die.
So since this is our last dungeon, we get our last of the 4 different arrows here. The light arrow. So that whole quadruple item set is now complete. Light arrows function kind of differently from their counterpart in Ocarina of Time, because now they work kind of like the light beam from your mirror shield. They can still do a lot of the same things from the Ocarina of Time variant, like do a good amount of damage to some enemies and stun certain things. But also now with the extra ability of light arrow for light beams, that really helps in dungeons like this.
And they're not OP like in Wind Waker.
Yeah, that's the only real time, but those things were so busted they had to make them end of game because, yeah, it breaks early game way too much.
Buster, you could have just walked to that chest.
Nah, man, walking's for the plebs.
Spider-Manning is how we work things out. Whee!
Paddle's like, oh, I'm sorry, did I get in your way of hook shotty?
Yes, I'm mad about it.
And I haven't seen that guy since Woodfall. And now he has a mask of his own. It really doesn't matter though, one hit with a bomb and it's off. It's just a nuisance.
Oh boy.
Oh look, it's
this guy.
It's that enemy from freaking Link to the Past.
Yep. And now, gone. 2 light arrow shots and it's dead.
We haven't seen that type of enemy since Link to the Past. That's pretty cool.
At this point, now that we go through this door, we'll notice we looped, because now we're at the beginning of the dungeon again. And that kind of opens up a question of now what, because we've explored everything here. That Garo Master told us something about a red crystal that we need to shoot with light. That is how we explore the second half of this dungeon. There's a red crystal outside of Stone Tower Temple, which is blocked off by the stones in front of it, but when we reveal it, we can just go ahead, shoot that, and something magical is going to happen. But first things first, hang on, let me just get rid of this light block with the light arrows, because that's the best thing about these. And get me a compass.
Does it make your mirror shield useless?
I mean, yes and no, because there are still some situations where you probably want to use the mirror shield light instead. Like if you have no magic, for example. Or if you're trying to kill an enemy like a floor master. But in a lot of areas, yeah, you might as well just use the light arrows now. And even the dungeon itself start getting rid of the light you need with the shield, just to use the arrows instead. So before we do anything else, I don't want to have to go through this dungeon another time. So don't mind cheating. It just I can't hit this thing unless I fly. Okay. It's either that or we do the gimmick of the dungeon and then come back here again just to grab this one chest. I don't want to do that. That takes like, what, 5+ minutes?
Oh, I see how it is. You're just impatient.
Hey man, we're on a timer. Moon's gonna kill me here if I'm not fast.
I'll forgive it this one time, Lester. But I just want you to know, Amber won't.
Oh man, well now I gotta telltale and remember this prompt just appearing on my screen.
Hey guys, you know, that was a cool dungeon and all. You know, it was.
Want to see me do it again?
It's like,
yeah, exactly.
It says, you want to see me? It's like, yeah, did that dungeon. You want to see me do it again?
So these are the blocks that move around. That's the one you need to hit here. Don't know how I missed that, so you know what? I'm gonna improvise. Let me just rub against this wall here really quick and just shove my hand inside of it. Gotta just shove it deep inside the concrete. There's a seam in here somewhere, I think, maybe. I'll make a seam. Then I could just shoot through the wall like that. And miss my target horribly. Second try is best try.
How did...
Because this game is held together by duct tape. Remember this.
Exactly. That was just basically, I mean, the technical glitch name is Hookshot Extension, But you can do it with a bow too, so I'm just gonna say shot extension. Pulling out your item and then immediately pulling it out again while holding up, you can kind of just push Link through a wall ever so slightly, which is just enough to use the bow and arrow through the wall. So I can hit the crystal switch from the other side.
No one told me I needed magic beans.
I mean, you really don't. This is all completely optional up here. It's honestly not even worth getting a magic bean, but if you have one, might as well get some goodies. In fact, they even give you one bean to get down from here, so there you go. You got your return trip back.
Bomb choose. And what's the last one? The last one is 100 rupees.
Yeah, really not needed. So you can plant the bean here you get just to come back down to this area, because it'll take you back down. Or you can just jump down. So I'm going to save the bean for one more task later. And speaking of later, we'll do the stone tower second part later. A little fatigued.